the last patch. Do you feel that he's even a bit slower for this patch? A bit too slow for this patch?
I think he's a little bit too slow.
He can't go on that lane anymore. Just contest that enemy safe lane. No shrine. There's more. He can stack more in the jungle, but that's pretty much it. I don't value him that high anymore.
I don't know. I actually think you might see some teams shift Magnus back toward mid.
Yeah, that's possible. I think we may see Magnus fall into more like a 4-5 pickup, and him being like one of those, because he's kind of a mid that always does okay.
Right.
He's a spamming mid as well, and then you also need to. I think you may see a little bit more focus, perhaps, on single core strategies, like with the Sven and that sort of thing, in which case Magnus is very good in that regard, because one of the downsides of Magnus is that he doesn't act as a semi-carry for you mid.
But I do like this open by Faceless. I think this is a very nice mix-up where this could be a 2-3 or a 3-4 open, and I think that it's very, very important when you're drafting against a team like Liquid to have at least, even if you're pretty sure you know what those two heroes are going to do, at least some uncertainty is very important.
I just hope we see Magnus with the Aghanim Scepter, that's all. I didn't have time to check it out, just back and forth.
And it's got a little bit of slow on the
slow,
comeback, right?
If Liquid gives Faceless time for Aghanims, things probably gone
that's probably true.
I think another big thing about Magnus that is good for this patch is that he's very good high ground defense, both in the Blink Skewer back as well as the big AoE of team fight that comes with RP. So in so many situations where we are losing our lanes and that just snowballs into all the outer towers going, the only way to come back is to have really good high ground defense.
Yeah, but that's one spell. If you miss it, the game is pretty much over. That's the thing about that Magnus. It's the biggest downside of the hero. There it is, the Tusk.
The other thing you mentioned, Cap, that was interesting in terms of empowering your single cores. Obviously, Magnus had that effect where you would amplify the farm on your other cores. But in terms of playing against Magnus, it's kind of scary with fewer cores as well, especially if they're not very tanky cores, because, like, generally speaking, later on, that one Magnus RP and or the skewer basically guarantees that your core is going to die if he's able to get it off. And so you would see these funny situations where, like, the team would like use 3 heroes to kind of chase around the Magnus, try to keep him from moving around, and there's just so much priority on him because he threatens your cores. So if there are fewer cores and we expect it to be less greedy, Magnus as a way to be able to lock that guy down and kill him is also interesting.
Well, this hero had some struggles in the previous patch, but they are going to bring back the nuts Witch Doctor. Man, where are my gold sunglasses at?
This is great versus Tusk as well. He really takes advantage of how you operate with Tusk. Naturally grouping people up, being very forward. It's very easy to get good Maledicts and good Death Wards off of that.
Oh, wow.
This patch, man, I think we saw pretty much every single hero, like at least, what, 60% of the heroes so far. Might be wrong, I don't know, I'm talking from my head, but seems like every team has a different lineup for every game. Like you see 5 different heroes. Thing about Magnus and RP is Blinding Light, also Slark against that, and Mana Leak. I mean, he can get rid of it, but still, it's if it's casted after his Q, he's kind of in a bad situation.
And he doesn't get the most value out of, like, Empower. You know, he's not a hero that really wants to clear through, like, Ancient Stacks or something like that. I think it's the hard carry that they kind of had to have against, like, they needed a Silver Edge hero against Bristleback, and they needed something that could actually close the distance with Lone Druid, but I'm not sure if synergy-wise with his own team, it really works out that well.
Their ability to threaten the backline is pretty good so far in terms of getting to the Coddle, to the Lone Druid. Obviously, Lone Druid with the respawn talent, which was probably a big part of why he was so strong for a bit, obviously removed. But for Liquid, if you're expecting a fast game, it's not really get to the point where that should matter too much. As well as my understanding of the Rabid changes are that you can, it's still on cooldown for the same amount of time, but you can cast it more frequently. And so, you know, maybe they feel that this is enough to bring the hero back into some kind of timing that they want to hit.
Yeah, I just look at this Faceless lineup and I'm concerned. The same comment that we made previously, with the exception of bringing the Nuts Witch Doctor back, you see him right there. The issue is feels very previous patch, and Slark's a hero they've won their last 7 games on, going back to Kiev, so some very strong competition that they face with this hero. But this Liquid lineup, when you insta-pick a lone druid into a Witch Doctor, right, it tells me that this Liquid has a plan here.
10 seconds remaining.
Tinker would have been... I don't think there's any other mids that really make this lineup work. Like, Tinker would have stalled the game out quite a lot, giving you more high ground defense. Because as I see it right now, Slark, Nyx Assassin, like those 2 heroes aren't really going to be able to accomplish what they want to around that 15-20 minute marker. We're going to see Liquid balling up quite a lot, and you have tanky cores that you can't abuse, and you even have Tusk who can at least save allies from potential initiation with the snowball.
Yeah, I think you run into exactly the same problem that you ran into at the tail end of the previous draft, and that's that Ember's banned, Invoker is not the pick here, and Jabs' hero pool is just pretty shallow. OD is probably too slow. Storm Spirit, same problem as in the previous game. Alchemist, probably not a hero this patch.
There's no tower damage on Faceless so far. They still have 1 more pick, but even if they win a team fight, okay, they have an Empower. That's probably for Slark, but that's pretty much it. I mean, Witch Doctor, Nyx Assassin, they don't pretty much do any damage to a tower.
Have you seen much of Jabs, Lina, or Viper, or anything like that?
I think it's got to be a mid-game hero like that. I think Lina is the one that they've shown a couple of times.
Yeah, because they're also going to have the mid matchup.
You know, Viper's actually not bad.
Liquid. I mean, you got to get something that kind of connects these dots, right? Like Magnus is slow as an offlaner. Slark is kind of slow as a carry here. Okay, PA at least gets on top of the lone druid, which is good. It's an active fighter. They needed something that kind of wins you the 15 to 25 minute marker.
Yeah, but she gets rooted. You can't evade Quells.
And you're going to have a matchup that's unfavorable.
Right.
It moves around a lot in the fight.
Yeah, you're all in on Empower PA. That's exactly
right. A lot of mobility from them, a lot of being able to move around and get to the back lines, which maybe is not the best for more immobile heroes for Liquid. I'm curious how this Lone Druid is run, though. Lone Druid was the cornerstone of their success for when they took the last StarLadder by storm. I wonder if it's even possibly a melee form Lone Druid.
Wait a minute. Are we actually sure that this is PA mid? Could this be Slark mid, Tud?
It's not gonna be a Slark mid.
I think they've done that at least once. Yeah, in this game, I don't know if you do that.
Well, they have enough with Slark Shadowblade, Nyx Assassin ulti, PA Blink. They have enough to actually contest Lone Druid. It's probably gonna be a ranged Lone Druid though. And Keeper of the Light with Nyx Carapace and Mana Burn. I think they have enough to actually get close to them, which was the biggest part of the Liquid's plan actually, so that they can't really get close to their team. They're hitting from far behind with Bristol in front and have a save from Tusk.
All right, so Liquid with their last pick probably going to be Miracle's hero in the mid lane. Any guesses, guys?
Ember's
They might shift
Ember's
around.
gone. OD is a little slow, but I think could be quite good. Lina.
Need a hero list. Lina. Yeah, Lena's pretty good this.
I like Lina here. I think she just bursts down either PA or Slark. I don't think you invoke her.
Quaparuni?
Of the two, I'd prefer the Lina because I think you're a little light on disable. And Ice Shards can be a very nice setup.
Well, it's going to be a melee hero on mid for Faceless anyway, whatever they want to put. So Timbersaw is banned. So I think Lina should be the good choice. Or maybe even... they have enough burst damage with that Lina.
Queen's okay too.
The funny part is they could also do like Crystal mid, they could do Lone Druid mid, they could do a lot of different things.
Oh my god, well, yeah, you're in for a treat here, guys. This is going to be a core shaker. The change to the totem, giving you true strike against the PA. Oh yeah. Guys, quick predictions. I'm going to ruin the fun. I think Liquid's got this one.
Should we cheat and just read what EGB wrote? Like go with their predictions.
All right.
Yeah,
you got
I'm down to Liquid.
Yeah, look at those odds. 1337. It's over. Forget it.
Yeah.
Hard to bet against Liquid after last game.
All right. Sounds
I'll go with
good.
Liquid as well.
Guys, I think we got a pretty fun game 2 ahead of us. We're going to see a Miracle Earthshaker. Let's throw it over to our casters one more time. Here's Lyrical and Luminous.
One more time. Apparently, the game is already decided, Lumi. My goodness gracious. That last game was a stomp, and, you know, going into this next one with a lot of confidence, Liquid pull out the mid-shaker. We got the True Strike. The panel touched on it as well for the PA. Thoughts from you
That's
immediately?
a hard counter, right? It's not even pointless. It's just hard counter. True Strike versus Evasion.
Built
it doesn't
into
get
you.
clearer than that, right?
Nobody else has True Strike built into their hero, right? I guess Monkey King with his Boundless Strike is True Strike when you
Monkey
throw it
King
out.
has a built-in Monkey King bar. That's why his attack range is really long. Which, as you know, Monkey King bar also give you True Strike.
That's true. That's very true.
But real talk, I do believe once you buy Ags on Witch Doctor, that also gives you True Strike on your hits, on your ults.
Okay.
But you know.
I guess the thing for me that I'm sort of wondering about is how this game is. Oh my goodness gracious! Look at this little, nice little cinematic universe we're rolling into here.
Is that the event organizer or is that the game? That's not the game, right?
This is not in Dota right now.
Okay.
No, they didn't patch it to make it look like this. We get the tower little thing, remember?
Oh, right.
Which is pretty cool. But here we are into the game. Also, for anybody that doesn't know, this is a little bit of a throwback for Liquid. All right, it's revealed now to the fans as well that it is going to be a Miracle Shaker. Maybe they thought that it was going to be offlane. But GH, #1 Coddle in the world right now. When Liquid was making their run at the old StarLadder qualifiers, it was off the back of like a Brew Coddle, combination that they would basically spam out the wave and then get those offlane pulls going constantly.
Miracle just got Chakra Magic, I want to point out. I wonder if they want to do some fissure shenanigans. I mean, I don't think so, but GH just Chakra. You don't generally get Chakra at 1 unless you're up to no good.
Well, so this was the thing that they would do is they would try and take it to spam out the waves with Brew, and I can imagine that you would have a similar situation with the Bristleback where you get that cooldown reduction on Quill Sprays, and then after you spam out the wave, you can then get that side offlane pull as well, so that way you can immediately deny out a good amount of experience. Even more so important in this patch where, denies end up mattering more and more.
Sure. I think the most important thing is the fact that the cooldown with Enchant Totems 5. Chakra Magic eventually will reduce your cooldown if you enchant totem down to 0. So you can, well, there you go. Double Quill Spray from Mind's Control, stacking it up here, and that will secure them the rune. 3 runes going towards Liquid. Although on the bottom lane, looks like Ice was able to push away Matumba Man.
Well, Nuts in some trouble. This might end up being first blood. The cask not going to go any further. A really good impale from XY will save the life of Nuts, but XY, he might end up losing it instead. They're diving for this one, but the Quill's not quite in range.
Yep, and the Creep Wave is gaining on Mind Control. Mind Control does not have the Bristleback passive, so in theory, Black can perhaps make a play, but he will just fall back here. So looks like it will be an offensive trialing here from Team Liquid, and Slark traditionally needs a little bit of time here to actually get things going.
Yeah, that could be a little bit tough for him. One of the downsides of the draft, potentially. In the meantime, Miracle still trying to get whatever he can. You saw that the Liquid team was laughing a little bit, and they were joking about the situation leading up to this pick, but not sure if Miracle might end up falling under too much fire here.
Yeah, I think Jabs is naturally advantage in the lane till like maybe level 4 or 5, where Miracle gets more points into his Aftershock plus Enchant Totem. But Jabs could very well find a kill before then. Both players trading very heavily. Jabs does have the salve, though. Obviously, Miracle is going to be working with the Magic Wand instead.
And he wants to move in here, but needs to be careful. There is a Nyx Assassin that's also in the area. If Miracle walks too far forward, this lane could go awful for Liquid.
I mean, here's the thing. Jabs could get Blink Strike at level 2 to force a kill, and in fact, he does have that skilled up. But look at the Creep Wave here. He's getting doubled up if he goes for it. Here we go. Miracle might die here. He's going to run towards the Creep Wave to get a little bit of creep support, but unfortunately, I don't think he'll be alive here. Pops a Magic Stick, pops a Fairy Fire, Enchant Totem onto 2. The dagger will be coming through. Jabs grabs the first blood, and like you pointed out, XY instrumental in that getting that kill.
Yeah, that movement in, and maybe you could say that like they should have realized that that gank was coming since they have a couple of heroes that are keeping the pressure up their top. You also see right now that GH is going to be able to start stacking up this camps in the off lane for Liquid, and this was a mainstay of what they were doing before, as well as getting a quick acceleration. This is going to be even more tremendous because of Bristleback's ability to take down those camps.
Yep. Now, I do want to point out that even though Jabs did get the first blood, he's out of mana at this point, so he won't really have any kill opportunity over to the Shaker. And like I point out, once Shaker hits that level 4 to 5, he should be able to take over the lane with those extra beefy enchant totem hits. And unless Jab Fairy's a bottle out right now, but looks like he is going for just a little bit of light regen and has the boots as his next item queued up.
Miracle with that illusion rune is going to be able to dominate, at least for a little bit, the CS here, and trying to get it to the best of his ability. So far, 10-2 versus the 12-2 of the PA. The nice big creep wave coming in for himself as well, so might even be able to catch up slightly further. But the Bristleback, to my eyes, has been able to really get a lot in this game already. 17-5 on him, in comparison to that Slark, who's been stuck at 6-0.
Yeah, Black generally, I mean, Slark is one of Black's most reliable heroes, but what Faceless always do is make sure that he has a safe lane to get that quick Shadow Blade. I'm not sure how Black will do here without that free farm. The trade-off, though, is that Ice is getting the free 1v1 matchup. Arcane Boots is queued up. And I wonder what his first major item will be. Will it be a straight Blink Dagger Rush? Hold that thought in the mid lane here. They are making a 3-man gank onto the Shaker. The roll coming through, picking up Miracle behind the Fissure. And now the Shard's going to come through, but Jabs blinks right over it.
Yeah, it was a nice attempt, and you know, you can see a little bit of synergy here as well. Shards, fissures, things to block off movement. PA, in a lot of ways, one of the perfect picks to deal with this, and they still end up finding the kill. As Mind Control is going to keep the pressure on Black here. He might actually end up going down. He's diving underneath the tower at this point, and movement speed does not have enough of it to keep up with that Slark. So still just forcing him back. It's just bullying up here in the top lane.
Yeah, bullying is how you dominate the lane. Like, a lot of people would be happy winning the lane, but bullying is how you just get in there and get into Black's head. XY trying to come into the river to actually steal a rune, but is driven away. Jabs, you know, once he gets the bottle ferried out, it looks like he's upgrading for the face weave for now, but I feel like this could be more solo kill given the fact that he has a decent bit of gold as well as level advantage.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a chance for it. It's always scary running into the Earthshaker because of like all that disable that you have as well, and being able to get a rotation in from somebody. We do have Ice down here. Going to get caught by the Shards. He's actually stuck in here now. Goes for the skewer back onto that bear, and Savage Roar will at least keep him from getting a lasted onto it. And well, it looks like Matumba Man just going to send that bear away. Miracle continuing to put the screws here to Jabs. You know, one other thing, there's been a lot of these big creep waves as big rotation comes in. The Maledict damage is there, and they're getting kind of cute with it before. Earthshaker's struggling a little bit now in spite of the pretty good CS out of him.
Yeah, the problem with playing this matchup is that as the Earthshaker, you have to constantly be up on PA's grill to threaten him with that enchant totem. As doing so, you are putting yourself very far away across the river, especially when the creep equilibrium is as such. So very easy roam here by Faceless. And again, like what I said last game, that's their bread and butter. Early game double roam from the supports. They are always connecting these ganks. And that is one of Faceless' early weapons.
You know, we saw in between the games as well, Winter went down and was talking with the players a lot, and he kept on like pointing intently at the screen at various points, and it felt like he was sort of marking out, maybe it was like early game games, whatever it ended up being, but it seems like they have a better feel for how they want to play this game now after that little bit of a breakdown. And 3-0 start, it's been off the back of these supports making those moves. It has come at the cost of Black, though. Is that too big of a price to pay?
Well, Black, I mean, I think he's sometimes used to having these poor starts. He just needs to find that 10-minute window to actually get the farm. Unfortunately, average game time on this patch is like, what, 26, 27 minutes?
Yeah. That
10 minutes of time might never come. It also depends on what Mind Control's item's going to be.
Uh-oh. XY, he's stuck in no man's land here. The Shards will be going down soon, and he actually is, like you mentioned, going into those arcane boots. It looks like they're not going to be able to punish it. And actually, Ice, he's the one who's going to be in this area now as well. Miracle, he didn't have level 6 on Magnus. Might have just been able to walk away from that one, but ends up going down nonetheless. Another kill on board for Faceless.
I think this is the recipe of a very good PA game, right? When you dominate the mid game, and let's not forget this lineup. You have 2 melee heroes to actually fall back onto the Empower. So you talked about Black falling behind, but Empower is going to be his catch-up mechanism.
Bristleback, mind control. He's caught up here in this top lane. Black might actually end up going down to the Quills.
Maledict?
A ton of damage. Are they going to be able to actually find this, though? 26 HP. Black, he is a little bit trepidatious about approaching this, and one more tick from the Maledict. It is going to be enough. They find that kill.
Level on Maledict known to be absolutely atrocious, but they did do a lot of damage to him and was able to bring him down.
Well, 5-0 start. Faceless have come up with answers in this one.
Yeah.
Looks like now about 7.5 minutes into it. If you're Team Liquid at this point, you still have that Bristleback who's been having a great game for himself, as well as Matumba Man, as they might even be able to, depending on if there's a root or not, potentially catch out Sice here, but will not root there. They RP the bear to ensure his retreat. I guess they didn't want to use it anyways, but interesting.
Yeah, if you're Matumba Man, got him. Got that RP out. I mean, even though we see Faceless doing extremely well in terms of the kill score, let's not forget, I know the Observer has moved away from it, that it's Team Liquid out-farming Faceless by a wide margin. So I think Team Liquid is still relatively comfortable with how the game's going.
Did you see how many levels that was? And that's with XY soaking up some of that experience. They're taking both of these camps simultaneously. He is just soaking up all the experience of Mind Control, but likewise, Mind Control gained a good infusion of net worth here. He's building towards that mechanism again. Oh, excuse me, Vanguard first.
Yeah, you know, that's what I asked earlier. Are we going to see the early mech? I think Team Liquid is actually going to slow down the tempo a little bit because Lone Drew is one of those heroes that can push, but not as quick and as early as what we saw from last game. I think we're going to expect more of a 25-minute push to actually start and not to actually close out the game until like maybe 30 minutes or so. So I think Faceless is going to have a bit of breathing room. And I'm more curious to see what item is Magnus going to go for. And it looks like he is going to be going for a... what the hell is he building? He's got like a little bit of everything.
I mean, you still have Mind Control here too, who's farming up this other thing. And while Faceless are getting a lot in the map and some time for Black to catch back up, I'm wondering what happens when after taking like 3 stacks of the medium camp, 3 stacks of the large camp, and then also 3 stacks of Ancients. This Bristleback is going to be enormous.
Yep. All right, looks like Ice has quick bought his Helm of the Dominator. He really loves this item. Back in the mid lane here, Snowball, defensive play here. Miracle might still be in a little bit of trouble. Jabs doesn't want to get too close because the Echo Slam is available. Maledict still bring him down low, but Jabs does not want to commit into an Echo Slam.
They try and go for the snipe. Oh, 17 wand charges. He held on to that one.
Yep. I don't think even a crit would have killed him there.
Yeah. Well, 10-minute mark, 5-0 still, no kills as of yet for Liquid. It feels like Faces have been getting what they wanted. Now it's sort of a question of you're pushing back this spring and keeping Liquid contained. What happens when that finally, that kinetic energy of all this net worth starts building back and springing into the face of Faceless?
I mean, are they contained? They're down 5 kills, but they're up 2k gold.
Right.
So who's containing who? Back in the mid lane here, Kuro. Able to snowball away. It's going to hit on both heroes. The mech's going to come through from Mind Control. He's fine. And now XY in a terrible position will get fissured out. The kill will go to, looks like Mind Control. PA, where did she go?
She ended up TPing out. So that's a quick and nice jump away from her. XY does get punished in that fashion, and that's one of the things. Like, all of these heroes for Liquid, they have ways to play themselves out of kills. At least hold it off for a little while, whether it's Snowball or whether it's, you know, the stuns coming out from Earthshaker, or even like blinding light later on for the Coddle, as Magnus is just getting caught out here. There's the root. They're going to have a Savage Roar as well in a second if they wanted to try and use it for more contain. But XY comes in at the area, and that should be enough to keep back Liquid. Mind Control doesn't care mid, though. He does not give a damn.
He might now. Does have quite a bit of damage on him. The Maledict is taking him down, but yeah, very, very tanky with the Vanguard. Or mech, rather.
Okay, so Tier 1 tower dead in the top. We have the mid brought down very low as well. Black is here, and he's getting some amount of farm, but still below the Earthshaker. I mean, it was a mid-shaker, but he's almost level with the Coddle. It's been a really rough game for Black so far.
Yeah, even though the Bristleback has left his lane, he hasn't really gotten some free respite. He is going to get a big stack, although, again, GH is going to try to steal them. Illuminate being channeled up, Blinding Light on the retreat. Ice will not be able to find an angle on him.
Yeah, and he's already going to be pretty close to halfway to Aghanim Scepter.
Yep.
That Coddle. Invis Rune here as well. Mind Control just going to come in, try and get the deny. Able to find that one. Nicely played by Jabs. But now has Mind Control also sort of running at him a little bit. This is the same type of problem that we saw in the last game, is where you can just sort of walk in as Liquid and start taking objectives around the map, and Faceless don't really have any answer to that.
Right, Faceless has a very greedy lineup, and they're still going for relatively greedy items. For example, Ice has went for the Helmet Dominator instead of rushing the straight blink. I understand this is one of his favorite items, and he micro these creeps very well, but if you want to fight early, Blink is the way to go. Back in the jungle, XY going to get caught. The spike's going to be good. That is a Ravage. Here comes Ice on the back line, but there is no support. The mech will come back up here, and where's the RP? It's available. The Echo Slam a little bit better here, and the RP never got out here, but here comes the Casket looking pretty good. Jabs will be able to find his 4th kill in the game, but gets blocked out by the Ice Shards. They get 2 with Matumba Man's help, and that is a 4-to-1 engagement. They got Miracle, but Miracle at this point, after dropping his Echo Slam, he is okay trading that kind of trade for the team.
Yeah, that was great. And you saw right there as well, like Ice trying to get into position to make that play. I don't think that he would have been able to have in the Blink Dagger at this point. His net worth is what does he have? Does he have the full completed Helm of the Dominator at this point?
No, he's got...
Yeah, he doesn't have enough that it would have mattered anyways. So there was no way for him to find that initiation. It sort of speaks to what the panel was talking about, where you need those other heroes. As XY is going to be able to find GH, the Vendetta out as well. Blinding Light a little bit late. They can't quite connect with that Nick stun, but with Black here as well, they're going to be able to keep GH alive for the moment. Trying to find him. The snowball save is going to be there, and now maybe they can find a little bit more. Shards catching XY, and they turn it back around. GH lives again.
Kuro now has baited them, what, 3 times now, or is it at least twice so far? The mid bay was even better. The self-snowball to come in with the mech from the Bristleback. I think Faceless will need to start respecting taking these fights under shrines or towers like that, because they had a kill advantage of 5-0.
Right.
Now 6-6, and of course, they're not farming as well as Team Liquid, so I'm quite worried here watching Faceless play.
I mean, the plus side that you could say is that they do scale incredibly well into the late game. It's just,
that's true.
How do you deal right now with Mind Control? How do you deal with these heroes running at you? There's going to be a skewer away and trying to find a kill potentially. RPTP. And doesn't end up mattering. Oh, that feels so bad for Ice.
Yep, he was actually very close to finishing his Helmet Dominator as well. So Ice falling behind now. You were mentioning Black is also falling behind. There's only, like, PA is going off. He's got the Deso finish, but he needs to make every single gank count. And let me tell you, Lone Druid is going to be one of the harder ones to count. I think they're trying to bait out the Savage Roar right now.
Observer, get up there. They're going on him.
All right, they're going on top. Savage Roar has been cast. Jab now blinks on the top lane, going on Matumba Man. Matumba Man will get cast as well. Hits the Impale. Nicely done for the kill here. Faceless, 4-man ganks.
Oh, maybe more. Kuro in a little bit of trouble now. Jabs, they're going to be able to crit him all the way to death. Nuts now getting ran down by Mind Control. They get the Spike Carapace off as well to interrupt the chase coming. And maybe they can actually do this. It's so hard to kill off Mind Control at this point. Yep. They're just going to have to let Nuts die in the woods and create as much space as possible.
Yeah, good job not going in there, because the rotation from the Shaker was coming in as well. And of course, he does have the Blink finish. Only level 1 Echo Slam at the moment, but level 2 is soon coming.
All right, GH halfway to Ags, a little bit more than that. You do have XY that's sort of chasing him down here. They get the Impale off as well. Jabs does have another dagger to throw in a second. Looking for it. They find the kill. Oh, man. That one hurt. They would have loved to be able to save him there.
Yeah, look at how hesitant Faceless is. They trap a Coddle on their side of the river. They're like, can we go in for this one? Because they know the Shaker is always looming behind. But with a very pumped-up PA, they're able to find some random pickoffs and extend the game. I think that's Faceless' game plan, right? You were talking about they have the ultimate late game scaling with the Empower, with the better team fight. The question is, do they have enough time to capitalize on that? And every kill buys you a little bit more time.
Right. So Mind Control here it can keep this sort of you know, constant pressure along the top lane, and it does draw some rotations from Faceless. It's sort of telling now that, you know, after you end up losing Matumba Man up in that top lane, after Bristleback gets brought down earlier by the Maledict as well, they don't feel completely comfortable just stranding somebody out there. And so, you know, Faceless starting to make a little bit more agency for themselves in this game.
XY on the hunt again, always in the search of that Kato. Because if you see Kato farming, you could always pop a spike. And now Kato being very creative with his farming spots from low ground to high ground. And now Roshan has actually begun by mind control.
Yeah, they're moving in. I mean, again, you sort of don't want them to get the Aegis, but it feels tough to go and really contest it with Earthshaker always in the area. And well, XY is here. GH is also in the area. They scout him out, and Pale comes as well. They're trying to do some amount of damage, but we'll just have to back out after the fact.
Blink Dagger not online on Eyesight yet. In fact, he's just shoving out the bottom lane. PA is also not joining in. I think they're just giving up this Aegis to Team Liquid. They don't feel like they could take a fight.
Hey, I wonder if they know. I'm not seeing any wards.
Oh, no. The troll from Eyesight has scouted out.
All right.
So they do definitely know this is a strategic decision to not make a play at it. Okay. Instead, they're going to try to push bottom tier 2, which Ice is actually doing a significant damage to it, forcing out a Glyph as well. And the reason that PA is also not going there is that Jabs is more interested to finish his BKB because, like you said, the Shaker is a big threat. Even the Blinding Light at this point is a big threat when you blink in and come in like that. So he's going to try to go for a very early BKB and then take over the game for this stage of the game to kind of tie it over to allow Black to take over the ultimate late game.
So I'm really curious to see how this Lone Druid plays out now, since it is going to be the melee form bear. We haven't seen this in a while. Radiance is actually, you know, on the way for him at this point, and I believe he has the relic completed as well. Something that hasn't been around in a while. What's your thought on the state of the Lone Druid with the
Oh man, as soon as I saw the siege change from 150% damage to 250, I'm like, Bear is coming back, because this is definitely one of the best heroes, especially in a patch where games are fairly high tempo. He's a very strong lane dominator. We like 2 days from now, or 2 days straight now, we've seen lane is actually a big part of this game. So I think he's a great hero for this patch. Matumba Man has won the lane bottom 1v1 against Ice, and he's reaping the reward right now.
Yeah. And, you know, that combined together with Kato constantly pushing out waves, as they will run into XY here in the jungle. Nice and Pale. He does have a TP if he wants to try and make the escape, but Miracle chasing him down as well with the haste. Goes for the Vendetta, and with no detection, Liquid are going to have to give up chase.
I am surprised that he didn't Vendetta ASAP, because if you got rooted there, could have been a little bit a dangerous situation.
Yeah,
but he's fine.
And this is the thing, too. Like, you can push out this wave all you want, but Kato is just there to spam it out, and you've got all of this counter push coming from Liquid, and then eventually ways to siege the high ground as well with Coddle Aghanims and Bristleback walking up on high ground. It feels quite tough.
Yep. I mean, a lot of this game has been analyzed in the form of Liquid sieging, but if Faceless is the one that's sieging, what exactly is their siege? PA Deso is pretty much all they got, right? So you're sieging them high ground against Illuminate, Fissure, Ice Shards, and a Bear with Radiance in the front line. Faceless is going to have a tough time going up the high ground if they want to be taking some barracks.
Yeah, it feels much more like their comfort zone would be taking a fight in the middle of the map and having Slark just jump back and forth in and out of the fights.
Right.
Or one big RP with PA and Slark on top of everybody. But either way, man, mana leaking.
GH might be actually picked off on the back line here. They burn him down. The mech's going to be there. Jabs does have the BKB available. It looks like he will not be activating just yet. There's a BKB activation. Big crit comes through. They get another kill.
That doesn't feel that big, though. Like, using the BKB there for the 2 support kills is...
Yeah, was that worth the 10-second?
I mean, it's questionable, particularly now that... I mean, are they really thinking about even setting up to go somewhere else for more here? They're looking for the tier 2 tower with no...
I mean, this is like the most awkward thing, right? You pop your 10-second BKB, you quote-unquote win the fight, and then you lose your tower because you can't fight anymore now that your BKB's on cooldown. So, I don't know.
It's indicative of how hard this is, because previously, I think the biggest part of all this is that True Sight on Earthshaker. With 4 points up in Enchant Totem now, he does a tremendous amount of damage to PA, and if she gets stun locked, it's
True
over.
Strike.
She's gone.
True Strike, or you might have said True Sight, or I heard you wrong or something like that.
Yeah, I'm incompetent. It's fine.
No, I mean, I shouldn't be calling anybody out for misspeaking, but if your enchant totem gave you gem, I would say that's a pretty good skill.
True sight. That's all right. I'm with you. So let's see. We got Mechanism. We've got Vanguard. XY scouting things out. Sees that all of Liquid is here, and there's not really much that they can do about it. That Talon as well, I saw. The Bear picking up the plus 50 bonus damage. That siege increase. Ooh.
Yeah.
Are they finding somebody? There's some scans going out here.
TP got canceled by a good impale on the bottom side, so the mech would not be here for this fight. And look at how aggressive Jab is playing. He's just playing in between tower, finds GH. Where's the kill? Waits out the... Oh, look at that.
Just gone in an
Doesn't
instant.
wait out anything, just kills him.
Kuro trying to run away in this snowball, but they're going to chase him down as well. Walrus Punch. I don't know if it's going to be enough. That's a double for Jabs now, but Matumba Man has shown up. Can they do anything else here? The answer is no. Liquid scare off the rest of Faceless as they ended up losing 2. And maybe more as well off the back of that. Good blink away. That was a close to death. Yep, they caught him.
Very well-controlled team fight here by Faceless. They understand that the 2 quick kills is as much as they're going to get. All the rest of the targets are extremely tanky. And, of course, the mech on the Bristleback was running down the mid lane. And look at Jabs' item progression now. Basher is online. Again, his job right now is to create room and space for Black to catch back up. Keep in mind that Black did have that atrocious early lane. And I think Jabs has done a significant, beautiful job at doing that, right? Like,
yeah.
Boxes are ticked. Now we look at, you know, Big Brother Black and see if he could carry us.
And he's catching up. You think about where this hero was in the early phase of this game, now up to 9,300 net worth.
Oh, it's got Silver Edge.
This is huge. Like they've built themselves into a position where they can contest for this game. It's still not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination.
Yep.
You know, Crimson Guard, Mechanism, these items make Bristleback a monster to fight against. But there are some tools there for Faceless.
I mean, for the first time in 24 minutes, Faceless has made this game even again. They're still down by 1,000 gold, but that's pretty much nothing at this point, considering that you still have the Empower farming mechanism. So one could say the argument that the storm has been weathered, and this could be Faceless' game to take over.
We'll see. This is a very tenuous moment as well, though, as a nice crit comes out as well. Yep, onto the Bristleback.
24 minutes in, daytime push with Axe. You got the Radiance online. This could, I mean, I would just sing Faceless' praises. They could just lose the game right here.
Yeah. Well, all right. Ice cutting the creep wave in the meantime. Black also cutting the creep wave. They do have backdoor protection, not disabled as of yet because they managed to get 1 creep up on the high ground.
Tower's at half HP.
This is so much damage from the Bear. It's just impossible to deal with. They do get the Spike Carapace out. Jabs is there as well. He's hitting the illusion. Matumba Man, they're not there. They're trying to bring down the rest of them here. Finds GH. The RP is going to be able to catch on to 1, but I don't know if it's nearly enough. Their stun comes out now. Going to be able to contain and start to bring down that Phantom Assassin. Damage is not quite there. Echo Slam Miracle! He found him, and there's going to be a double kill for Matumba Man. Black just trying to kite away. They're still keeping him off at the tower, but now with 2 dead, what's the answer?
That was a 9-second BKB on the PA. Trades his life for Kato, but Kato just buys back. They know they want to win right now, and it's like you said, the Bear is doing way too much damage. Well, okay, on the backline, Nyx is going to get picked off here, and I believe that's going to be the mid lane of Raxus.
Yeah, Black and Ice not nearly able to do enough. They've already used RP as well, and the damage, look at it, they're just going straight for the tier 4s.
They got the Kato heal.
They do not care.
Yeah, they got the Kato heal. They could do whatever they want. I said this was a 25-minute push, and apparently that is a 25-minute win from Team Liquid. RP is down. The PA is back in 30 seconds. They're going to try to do what they can right now, but the Big Fissure pushing them back. They still have the Kato Illuminate healing everybody back up.
Yeah, Witch Doctor ulti came out. It wasn't doing anything, just tickling him for the moment. 1 tier 4 tower is already down, and everybody from Liquid is still so healthy. This is going to be the tier 4 going down as well. They drafted a better lineup for Faceless, but I don't even know. It's just always still so hard to do
Kato? If they could kill Kato, Kato walks alive at half HP. They have PA BKB back now. Jabs, I have to throw everything on GH. He TP's in, gets Enchant Totem. Where's the BKB? Okay, pops the BKB, goes on GH, but perhaps too little, too late. BKB will run out. The rest of the team does not carry out. They say, throne's open, let's go.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay there by the Observer. Don't worry, it's all fine and dandy. Kuro going to get going on, but there's the snowball, there's the catch, and a lot of damage coming out. They're trying their best. The Ancient, it's still standing, but for how much longer as Matumba Man finds the double, and They turn their sights again towards the Ancients. Faceless trying valiantly to pull them into a position where they can skewer them into the fountain. Jam's chasing Miracle just outside, but your base! You got to deal with your base. Some Matumba Man eyes on the prize.
RP, can you skewer him back to the base? No, skewer's already on cooldown. And yeah, the base is going to go down. There's no defending that. GG comes out from Faceless. What a push.
They knew what they needed to do, and they hit that timing beautifully. I think that in a lot of ways, Faceless responded about the way that you would have expected. They still played maybe a little bit greedy, but they had answers. They could take fights in some fashion, but they're just too hard to bring down.
You got to keep in mind that Miracle started this game by dying in the mid lane 3 to 4 times, so I felt like Faceless did all right in the laning stage, but once the draft came together, once the Kato Axe came online, it was lights out.
Well, I'm sure a little bit disappointed for Faceless. Team Liquid looking quite strong in this one. People have been speculating that it might be their patch, and indeed there is a chance that it could be. They have found some answers at least. And that Coddle too. It felt like it just made so many different things happen for them. In your eyes, is that one of those heroes? Like, who do you ban for against this Liquid team?